Hmm?
Recording has started.
Okay, okay. Well, good evening, because obviously it's evening by the time we upload this first session of Q&A with the Alumni Spotlight program that the Mark Twain International School has launched. And probably we should start with Happy Morțișor,
Happy
happy first day of spring.
first day of spring, everyone.
May your spring be as radiant and joyful as probably our days back at Mark Twain International School. Yeah, this is a program that will start with 4 editions. We're gonna find the people that we grew up with, people that have inspired us during our educational years, and obviously people that keep on inspiring us through social media, because obviously we're stuck in the middle of a pandemic and we can't do too much, sadly. This is a chill session. Everything is live. Everything is just as it used to be when we were high schoolers at Mark Twain, and not only high schoolers, because probably part of the people that we're going to have here on this Q&A session have been attending Mark Twain since kindergarten. And if we're talking about kindergarten and we're talking about alumni, I couldn't have thought of someone better to kick off this awesome edition of Alumni Spotlights than our one and only Ioana Macovei-Vlasceanu, that has been part of this legacy called Mark Twain International School since day zero, or even -1, because I'm pretty sure that teacher Anka and Danny had this vision already tailored in their mind to fit to your needs. So I'm pretty sure they wanted to give you everything, obviously the best. So I think that we were lucky to get this best pack experience too. So, hey
Thank you.
there.
That's very kind. Thank you. That's very kind. I'm so honored to be here today as a Mark Twain IS alumni and as a Mark Twain IS staff, part of the admin staff right now. I am back here teaching music for the International Baccalaureate. I'm so proud of that, and my students are wonderful and they're getting amazing results. So I'm so proud of that, and I'm saying it. I'm proud of you. It's good to to own it. I'm proud of you, kids. I'm also running the musical theater elective with some talented, amazing kids there as well. And also, as of this year, I was kind of on and off, went to London, studied there. Probably we'll discuss about this later on, but I'm back here as a Chief Advancement Officer, and that means basically everything from brand identity, things that you must see online now, Facebook, Instagram, the way that our website looks right now. Any campaign that we might have goes through me. Also, anything related to campus, not on the educational side of things, but more on the aesthetic side of things. So everything that's brand related really goes through me. That's more of the brand managing side of this this new role that I had the honor of being named into, I guess, this year. And the other part is literally making sure that the school is always one step ahead, communicating through departments throughout, and just being the best that it can be on the admin side of things. But I won't bore you with the admin part. I won't bore you with the nitty gritty.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that was the briefest you could have done, because I don't know, it's really hard for us, because I remember us being literally sharing the same stage, literally sharing the same dances during dance classes, sharing the same songs, And yeah, so talking about spotlights, we were really, 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 really happy to share the same spotlight. For me, they were 8 wonderful years. For you, obviously, there were more than just 8 years. But we're here for the Q&A session, and we don't want to keep you waiting. So we're gonna start with 4 questions, and some of them are gonna be short, and some of them are gonna be more, let's say, longer. So you will have more time to, for example, get into details and letting your experience get to the followers and people that are gonna watch us now. So the first question would be, one thing you miss the most about school. Drum roll.
Ah, are we doing short answers or long answers?
Yes, please keep
This is
it short-ish.
uh, I'm going to say what I miss the most. Of course, it's a difficult question for me because I'm still here now. So I have to think of this answer from the standpoint of a student. So I think the most exciting thing about school when I was here was just the energy, I guess. That energy, family feeling of coming to school, being happy about coming to school. Like we would never, or, you know, I'm going to talk for myself. I would never feel like, you know, the classic waking up in the morning and going, oh, I have to go to school. You know, I never had that. I was like, I'm going to school. Like I'm going to meet my friends. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to learn new things. Sounds a bit nerdy, doesn't it? But it's true. Even though we weren't like, you know what I mean? But
Yes.
it was the excitement of going to school. It was a safe place. It was a happy place. So that excitement, and I'm so happy that I can do this now as an adult. It's insane that I get to do this. I'm lucky. I'm lucky in that way. Yeah.
Okay. That was actually impressive, shortness wise. Because I totally get your geekiness, because it's literally me. Like I feel your pain, and it's not even a pain. It's about like the joy and excitement. So it was 1 minute. Way to go, Joanna.
So I
Shall
have a question
we?
for you now. Is that okay? So because
Yeah.
this is our first session, we were thinking behind
Yeah,
this.
actually, I didn't get to say that because I got overly excited about like a lot of things going through my mind, and what I should say and what I should mention, what I shouldn't, although I want to mention everything. And I'm gonna be in charge with these sessions of interviews and Q&As with our alumni. But because this is our first trial, and this is our way of announcing that these series will be out there for you each week, and we're going to start with 4 editions for the moment. And once we get into it, probably we're going to do more, because I'm pretty sure that we're going to have a high demand of alumni wanting to join us, and fresh students wanting to get to know more about the alumni that have left that cozy buildings, because there are a lot of buildings now, and now I feel old.
We've grown.
So Joanna will also kick in some questions to me, so
Just
you
so
can
you
also
guys, yeah, just so
get to
you
know
guys
me
can
too.
get to know your host. Um,
Yeah.
we were thinking that just for this first tester, how should we call it? A trial run?
Trial.
A pilot?
Actually, it's a pilot plus teaser for what's gonna come next week.
Yeah. Amazing.
So yeah.
Okay, so I have a very short one because I know we don't have a lot of time. So, do you remember what was your class's mascot
Uh, it,
slash name?
it's not like I don't know the answer. It's just me thinking if I should run and literally pick up the owl teapot that you bought me. Yeah, we were called the Owls. How could I ever forget that?
Yes.
I mean,
So
my
just to
first
make
day
it
at
clear,
Mark Twain,
we should
I
tell
rem
what generation we are. Like when we
yeah,
actually,
we're the Owls.
we're the owls and we finished in 20,
2010, 10. Yeah. Oh,
2000.
that's a while ago.
Yeah. We still look
And
young,
we're,
right? We,
yeah, we're alive and kicking.
amazing.
So yeah, it's the owls. That's a short answer.
Perfect.
My turn.
Yeah.
And by the way, none of these questions have been previously shared. So Joanna doesn't know what I'm gonna ask, and I don't know what she's gonna ask, so bear with us. Question number 2, Miss. Describe your IB experience in one word, and maybe a phrase, to just let us know some insights about that one word. Good luck.
I'm going to say life-changing. The word is life-changing.
I can deal with it. It's fine.
Yeah, life-changing would be how I would synthesize it in one word. And if you would ask me why, it's because the IB really gave me all of the tools that were necessary to go into the next stage or university, as we might call it, to go there prepared, ready, and what I mean by that is I will describe it in two ways. So one way is academic-wise. I was ready. I knew how to handle that type of
Tension?
scenario. Yeah. And on the other side of things, I think it kind of pushed our maturity level, up there. We were no longer like, ha ha ha, let's go to school and have some fun. We were on it, and we knew how to take things seriously and how to really have the focus that we needed for the next stage.
Yeah. I relate to that. So good answer.
Thank you. Thank you. So it's me next with a question for Hrant.
Should I be scared?
So the following question is, what was your favorite class out of all of the classes that you ever took in Mark Twain International School? What was your favorite class and why? So what and why?
This is a really hard question because for me the idea of teacher's pet sounds very, it sounds like downgrading someone. But I personally feel like I had a great relationship with all my teachers. So like no hard feelings for anyone, because you all did an amazing job even during classes where a lot of hope was lost, aka math class. The Lord was testing me. I passed. Yeah, I passed.
You're being too harsh on yourself. You were doing a good job. I mean, we were artists, so math wasn't our strong point.
So back to, like, this is really tricky, but if this is so hard. It shouldn't be this hard
So one
because
last short answer. Go.
I can't.
You
I
can.
don't do short. I will have to say based on what I'm doing now and based on what inspired me the most, because there were things I knew I was good at, like theater and drama class, which is still a huge part of my soul, and so is music, although I'm not really practicing that side of my existence besides being obsessed over different artists. I think it would be art class. And I still remember I remember my first art class at Mark Twain in 5th grade with Gabriela Cocora. I remember yeah, I hope she's watching,
She's watching.
and yeah, we're definitely gonna share it with her. I remember before the course, she was doing some exercises of what the course was gonna be about, and it was using uh, different crayons based on hardness and softness. And that's when I saw her and how gentle she was working, and that class was perfect. So it's definitely art class, and I was so blessed and happy that Gabriela got to show me that I have more inside than I thought I knew I had.
Yeah.
And then Catalina Kosovo came in during my IB experience, and she just took my creative side and she just tossed it up and it's like, fly. So that's how I felt during with my two teachers of art. So I'm really sorry. I love all my teachers, but it's gonna be art class. Although I love drama and I loved music as well.
Yeah.
That
Amazing.
was not a short answer. I'm really
That's
sorry for
okay.
you.
That's okay. I mean, some answers deserve a thorough explanation.
Yeah, it's about talking about my roots and like my main root. So I'm really sorry that took a while to answer. Okay, and talking about classes, wow, we are synchronizing idea-wise. So you said my favorite one, and now I'm gonna twist it up a little bit and say and ask the following questions. Are you ready? Name one class you should have paid more attention during. Like, name one class. I don't know how you're gonna answer to this because I have some ideas of what you could say, but I feel like I want to hear your honest answer. What's that course you slightly regretted not loving as much, or not love is a no, like
Yeah.
being more into it or
Yeah.
not?
Oh, this is difficult. I think it right off the bat, I'm going to say math. Um, sorry, math and math teachers. I think it took me a while to like listen. The thing is, I'm an artist. I'm an artist. Um, I was always singing and dancing and acting, and all my hopes and dreams and all my thoughts were mostly about art. Like there was room for not much else. So it kind of took me a while to understand how math actually relates to music in a very interesting way, and how music theory is very much connected to math. But I only understood that later on. Um, and I only wish that um, I was more open to the idea of um, perfecting my mathematical skills while I was younger. I think that would have helped me more because I'm quite an analytical person. So I think of myself as an artist. But I like to also think of myself as quite an analytical person. So I think math would um, math. I'm just gonna stick with math. Math.
Okay, I mean, I totally get you.
Math.
I get you. Um, yeah, so I guess now it's your turn
Sorry,
to
math.
stress me with one more question.
One more question. I've got two more questions.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that.
Okay.
We have time for
So,
that.
okay. So one of the questions, and I think, do you want the long one or the short one first? Which one would you prefer?
To be honest, I have your next one's gonna be a longer one, and then I have no, actually, yeah, I'm fine with both. So,
Okay, so I'm gonna go with the shorter one,
mm-hmm.
just so you have time to really explore the second question. So my question is, you have a message for, let's say you have a message for the 2021 generation. So the Mark Twain IS 2021 graduating generation, they're graduating now in May and slash, July, depends if they're taking the international or the national baccalaureate. Let's say you have a message for them. What would that be?
I think that if I start with one phrase, and then that one phrase would be, never take no for an answer. Like, never limit yourself. Never let anyone tell you what you can do and what you can't do when it comes to your dreams and your achievements. Because if there's one thing that I think personally this pandemic has also taught me, because I feel like the reality we're living in is slightly changing, although I hope things get to the normal that we used to know. But the moment you never doubt yourself and your intuition, your strength, that's the moment when you realize that literally nothing can stop you. Never stop believing in yourself. So I think that's the one thing I would tell to our future generations. Be bold, be loud, be out there. And if someone feels like you're too much, that means that they're maybe too little. So it's not you, it's them. So please never stop believing in yourself. That's my own advice.
That's great. Thank you.
And that was short. Yeah, I kind of surprised myself.
Amazing. Thank you. Yeah.
Now, would you prefer the longer question or the shorter one?
Whichever.
Okay. So then I'll go with the longer one. And it's, share 3 things that made you feel proud of yourself since you graduated. So it's not about what others felt. It's not about what the society thought. It's not about what the school, what the university, competitions, and everything you've been through. It's what made you be proud of yourself.
Wow, this is a really good question. I will try and be as short as possible.
Let me turn on my
Okay. So the first thing that I would say that I'm most proud of is having the courage to follow my dreams at quite an early age. So I finished high school at the Mark Twain International School in 2010. And it was my dream then to become a singer, a professional singer. I always loved singing. I love being on stage, as I said earlier. And it was my dream to learn how to do this properly in the best school, basically, that I could get into. And it was difficult, and the training was difficult. And I got in after, having to fight for it. I got in. I got into the Guildhall School of Music and Drama in London. And I finished my bachelor's there and my master's there in classical singing. I'm a soprano, for those of you who don't know that. And of course, people would be tempted to say, I'm proud for finishing these degrees and for, doing a great job there. But actually, I think I'm proud for having the courage to leave home at quite a young age, just to, leaving the comfort of my own home, family, friends, and having the gumption to say, I want to train and I want to do that, and I will do it. So that would be the first thing, having the courage to go for it, to go for this dream. Second of all, I'm proud for all of the children that I work with. So I'm proud for being a good teacher, because I wasn't really trained to do that. I mean, of course, I was, in the larger sense, of course, I was trained to do that. In the degree itself, you did have, you know, a way to learn how to teach, and you would get graded on that and everything. But that really doesn't mean you're a good teacher. Like, a degree doesn't necessarily mean you're a good teacher. That's something more. I think it's a gift. And I'm proud to be happy working with kids, and I feel like they're happy and they're learning. So I'm proud for having this gift, or more than that, knowing how to channel it and how to develop it. I don't know if that's a clear enough.
Yeah.
So teaching would be the second thing that I'm proud of. And the third thing, I think the third thing would be the exact opposite of the first one. So if I'm really proud of knowing how to fight for, you know, packing everything and leaving just to accomplish my dreams, I'm also incredibly proud for having the strength to come back. I don't know if that makes
Yes, it does.
It's sometimes it's harder to come back than to leave. So I'm so proud for, you know, especially given the circumstances. Artists are really having it rough right now. You know, stages are closed, theaters are closed. So it's a really rough time for everyone, but artists are really not okay right now. So it's such an honor to have, in a way, a soft landing in these incredibly difficult times, and having the courage to follow that and to come home and to be able to give back to the community and to be able to help and to work with amazing people here in school. So first one is having the courage to leave, fight for your dreams. Second one, teaching, and everything that entails, developing that gift, and teaching. And third one would be knowing when to come home and how to do it, you know, and how to be there for the people that you love. So yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah, I totally get that, because I feel like sometimes once you try to accomplish something and you accomplish something, and then things don't go great, and you have to be mature enough to just step back
Yeah.
and make sure that you're doing the best thing for yourself. And sometimes, just as you said, in your case, it's about coming back to your roots. And I feel that sometimes stepping back and seeing the bigger picture from the place that you have left and went after something that seems so big. So just stepping back, you get to see if that was actually worth it. And I think it was worth it, as you mentioned. But in the current situation, you stepping back and looking at things and looking at how you can make things work better in the current situation asks for a lot of courage. And it's not about feeling ashamed that you backed down from something that was labeled as your dream. It's still your dream, but you're tackling it in a different way. So yeah, I totally get that.
Exactly. Yeah, it's still there. The dream is still there, and I still get to do it, but you know, in a different way.
Yeah.
In a different way. So yeah.
Moving on to your last question, and I think this might be our last question, because I realized that I started the chain of questions.
I have a question for you. I have the long question for you now.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So it's interesting how it's quite a similar question to the one I just had a couple of minutes ago. I mean, you just had a couple of minutes ago for me. So um, I phrased it in another way, basically, but it's quite similar. So um, what have you been up to since graduation? That would be the first big question.
Mm-hmm.
But in a way, how would you, if you would choose three moments, three highlight moments that you're proud of since graduation, what would they be? So highlight moments. Quite the
Okay.
same question.
Yeah. I mean, am I shocked or I mean, I'm not shocked because the same roots.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh God, this is a really hard question. So I'm gonna just try to make sure that I'm not wasting anyone's time and just go for it. I think that if I start like in a chronological order, it would be I mentioned how arts were very important to me. I feel like during my IB years, my inside dream was getting to somewhere to like London. Shocker, because you were there too. And it was always about drama, and a part of me was going crazy for music. But since my voice changed as a teenager, then I felt like I struggled and I couldn't feel like I couldn't find the strength to go after that one too. Plus, I have a hard time focusing on one thing that I really love. So I tend to like have like 20 tentacles grabbing 20 things in the same time. So it was really hard to realize that I'm not going to be able to leave the country and that I'm going to stay here, and having to adapt my drama and musical dreams into something that I can do here. And because I'm an Armenian, the part of me was like, I'm also going to turn this whole thing into a job that's going to sustain my existence. Because yeah, Armenians and families are a thing, and that family is there to constantly ask you, what are you gonna do with your life? So I realized that it might like my thought cycle went from okay, so if I can't do drama, what can I do like that? So I was like, drama, set design, yeah, but set design in Romania, is that worth it? Can you do it? Can we make like can we live doing that? And I was like, yeah, that doesn't sound maybe too right for me. So I was like, okay, set design, lifestyle design. Okay, I'll go for interior design at the National University of Arts. And that's what I did. And I remember being scared because the people that were going for that were literally people that have been studying hardcore arts from fifth grade, drawing. But for me, it was just a passion that was inside, and it was amazing and I loved it, but I didn't feel like I was ready. But thank God I was an international student for the university, so getting in wasn't as hard. And I remember looking into my teacher's eyes during my university exam interview, and with the dean and literally all the teachers of the design department. And I did mention to them that I'm coming from an international school background where I was really involved into what school meant. And I was part of a school that was a moving mechanism. So I was ready to do the same during my university years. And I told them that I know that maybe I'm not as well prepared as the rest of the people that were applying for that spot. But because I'm an international student and I have special places designated for international students at all universities, I can get into most universities in the country. But I want this one because this is what I want to do. This is what I'm attracted to. This is what I feel like I can do. And that they laughed at me because they were like, okay, you got some courage to tell us that, you know, you're not as good as other people, but you know, you're very dedicated to your passion.
Did you really feel
And
that?
and to be honest, it was hard. Like my first year design grades were 5 and 6, which is something I'm not used to. But at the end of the school, at the end of the university, I remember my teacher telling me that I shouldn't present my diploma project first because I talk a lot and because I know how to entertain, and it's going to be really hard for the rest of the students to follow. And I got the first 10 in our course. So I started from a 5. So I started from the bottom and now we're here. And it was really, really inspiring to see that you can start fresh with something you're not maybe excellent at, but if you believe in yourself, you can get there. The second thing that I can't just not mention is me taking that spirit that I got at Mark Twain of being involved with changing things, with being part of the global change, being an international citizen of this world. And that's where I rediscovered volunteering, and that was a huge part of my life, and it brought me only benefits. So dear kids, if you're watching, go on, volunteer, join your university campus associations, just be there and change things into better things that you desire in the world. And that's when I met the UN Youth Association of Romania. And from that, I got totally randomly, I don't even know how, to meet the international campaign to abolish nuclear weapons. And that was probably one of the most life-changing moments of my life, because I discovered that me as just a simple human being that believes that the world could be a safer place if I add my 1% of effort to a global effort to change the world. And that's when I started campaigning and going to the UN and joining protests in front of the UN buildings, putting a suit on and running after diplomats at the UN to lobby for a nuclear ban. And in 2017, the majority of the states at the UN voted for a world free of nuclear weapons. And just, I think it's less than a month ago, when the world literally got a treaty that has been fully ratified and entered into force banning nuclear weapons. And thanks to that effort, the campaign that I fell in love with got the Nobel Peace Prize in 2017, which was a total milestone. And it's not mine personally, because that's a debate my friends always tease me with. It's not my Nobel Peace Prize, but I am lucky
It is.
enough to
I mean,
consider myself a piece of that mechanism that pushed for a nuclear ban. And I think the third thing that I could mention that I'm proud of, it probably would be, it's really funny because you mentioned about going back, like letting some things go and starting over towards that dream with a different direction from a different point of view. It's me having so many expectations from myself. I remember how I imagined my life, my dreams, my goals as a teenager. And now I just turned 30 and I'm like, things didn't maybe work out as I wanted, but I'm happy that they worked out as the universe wanted for me. So it's about knowing when to accept certain opportunities, even if you don't feel like maybe they're what you wanted
yeah.
at the beginning of
Initially,
everything.
yeah.
So it's never missing up on opportunities. Sometimes you may feel like it's a wasted time, but 6 years later, after the campaign that I was talking about, a lot of people were laughing at us that there's never going to be such treaty. The world is never going to give up on nuclear weapons. Nobody's going to unite against them. And 6 years later, because that's 6 years before the ban treaty got voted, people were laughing at us. And then it happened. And I was like, who's laughing now? Deal with it. Yeah, I really tried to be short. I'm sorry. I probably failed at being short.
It was a perfect answer. It was a perfect answer, and congratulations for everything that you.
Thank you.
Um,
And I couldn't just not mention that because I feel like my spirit of getting involved into changing things is literally something that I learned during my years at Mark Twain. We were fighting for teachers to move their optional courses for us because we wanted to be on that course. So that was a lot of practice for us. And I just moved that package of things I knew how to do and applied it to my university years and so on and so forth.
yeah, I mean, it's a perfect answer, and the reason why I think it's a perfect answer is because, in my opinion, these alumni series should be about showing current students, or maybe possible students, or maybe other alumni, younger, older, really giving them like a raw version of what's happening, the real version of what's happening. Um,
Behind the
so
curtains.
behind the curtains,
Hmm.
exactly, where they don't necessarily see us, all shiny and kind of selling something to them like, oh, life has been perfect and everything is perfect and everything is, it's not perfect, it's life. And
Yeah, this is not the social media feed. This
yeah,
is what happens behind the social media feed that we want to
exactly,
show.
exactly. And it's real life, and that's okay. I mean, we have good times, we have bad times, but it's part of the way that we were taught to face things. That's where the true character lies, where the way you face these adversities. So yeah.
Improvise.
And be strong and face them head on, and never be ashamed of what you're going through. Just
Hmm.
share, be open, and all the things that we were taught to do as kids, and now these things are helping us become um, citizens of the world, hopefully good citizens of the world, and good people.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah,
I
do you
think
have any more questions? I think that
I
was.
think no, because that's what I was trying to say is that I started with the questions.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got all four of them covered because for a second I thought that you started, and I was like, she has to ask one more question. I'm like, no, I have to. No, yeah. This
That
was pretty
was
much,
good for me.
we probably wanted to go for a shorter version, but it's really hard to go for a shorter version, especially because this is the pilot edition of this Q&A sessions. So pretty much this is what we had in store for today. And I'm really excited to be part of this project. And although we're going to have a different guest each week, I'm pretty sure that you, Joe, will be there back in the curtains with me to help shape
I'm
this.
curtains. Oh,
So
yes.
yeah,
So much for having me. Thank you for having me.
it was my pleasure. And if there couldn't have been anyone, I shared the stage with you. I shared the same bench with you at school. We shared the same song. You took first voice. I took the second one when we were kids. So pretty much it was really, really happy to have you on this first edition of Mark Twain International School Alumni Spotlight Q&A sessions. And thank you to everyone that
Thank you
is
for
watching us now. And because this is probably going to be launched today, I hope that you have a wonderful week ahead of you and you have a really, really sunny spring ahead of you, although it's kind of rainy outside. And just hang in there. I know we're living hard times, but if we stay united, at least digitally or as much as we can physically, I'm pretty sure we're going to go through this together. So thank you again for joining our alumni spotlight session. And
good luck. Good luck with the series, and I can't wait to see who's next.
okay, it's gonna be a surprise, but maybe we will announce prior to the next edition.
Okay. Okay.
So make sure to follow Mark Twain International School on all social media platforms, including Instagram and Facebook. And I'm pretty sure you're going to really enjoy these sessions. And dear parents, if you're watching, your kids are going to be on this show, or they will be in the future, or they should be in the future. So please stay tuned and have a wonderful evening. Thank you for joining. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.